Welcome to my channel. This is JC Rock and Metal Reviews. My name is John and I have another anniversary album review for you. It is by the band Motorhead. The name of the album is called Orgasmatron. But before I begin, if you are new to this channel and you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. I do rock and metal reviews, rankings, and a lot more. So Motorhead, that's a band that I've recently gotten into. I mean, I've known about them for a long time. I used to watch Headbangers Ball when I was a teenager, and they would always play the Ace of Spades video. I think like every episode they would like play that video at least once. And I liked the song. I thought it was cool, but it wasn't a band that I really got into. I mean, I never went out and bought any of their CDs or records, and even to this day, I've never actually like owned a Motorhead album. I probably need to change that and pick one up. But you know, I have started listening to them within like the past couple of years. And the reason why is because I bought this album by Sepultura called Arise. And on the back is a bonus track called Orgasmatron. It's actually a cover of the Sepultura song that actually appears on this album. And this is the title of the album. So that is what made me a Motorhead fan. After I bought this album and I heard that song, I started streaming their albums. The ones I have heard the most were this album, Orgasmatron, Overkill, and Ace of Spades. But I have heard a couple of the other ones. I haven't heard like all, I think there are 19 of them. I still need to listen to more. But this is one of the ones that is one of my favorites. This is the one I did go back to a lot. And let me talk about Motorhead. So this is a band, they're actually kind of like hard to describe. They're almost like punk rock. They do like identify with a lot of punk rock bands, but they are considered to be heavy metal, but they don't really sound like Iron Maiden or Judas Priest. They kind of have their own like unique sound. Even their lead member, Lemmy, when asked what does the band, what genre is the band, he always says rock and roll. That's how he always described it. And this is one of those bands that kind of like bridged the gap between like the metalheads and the punk rockers. It was kind of like safe for both of those like genres who were kind of always kind of in like a competition anyway. But they always they both like were Motorhead fans. And this band was also one of the big influences on thrash and speed metal. So let me talk about the album. It is an anniversary celebrating its 35th year. This is album number 7 for them, released August 9th, 1986. And also their first album as a 4-piece band. Motorhead were known as a trio for most of the time. But it's 4-piece, so we have Lemmy on bass and vocals, Michael Wurzel, Burston, and Phil Wizzo Campbell on guitars, and Pete Gill on drums. Produced by Bill Laswell and Jason Corsaro, and released on GWR Records. Probably wondering what's up with the title Orgasmatron. It's actually based on an old Woody Allen movie called Sleeper from 1973. I put a little poster up there. But the original title was Riding with a Driver, and you probably that actually like explains like why there's a big train on the album cover, because that was like the working title. And they ordered an artist to paint something like this, but then they wanted to change the name, and by the time, it was kind of too late, so they kept like the same album cover with the train, so that kind of explains that. The album is fairly short. It has 9 songs and a runtime of 35 minutes, so this video will probably got a little shorter than usual. But I'll go through the tracks. The first one is called Deaf Forever, first single released. Classic Lemmy bass sound in the intro. Does have some strange kind of percussion effects in the song. Almost sounds like early industrial metal. Really thick power chords in the chorus. Chorus is kind of catchy, and the song is a little slower than the other ones. So it's moves at a mid pace and pretty cool opener. Next is Nothing Up My Sleeve. This one's a little faster. Has that classic Motorhead sound with like the distorted guitars. Pretty cool distorted bass, very fast drum beat. Song is probably closer to like a punk rock song than like a metal song. Does have like this repetitive chord progression, and first guitar solo has some pretty cool like echo effects. The next guitar solo is just straightforward like rock and roll. And after that, next song was called Ain't My Crime, and this one has a riff reminding me a little of like AC/DC, but kind of played at like high speed. More of like a dirty rock and roll type of song, and it just has everything you want in a Motorhead song. Fast drum beat, distorted guitars, distorted bass, and pretty cool chorus. And like I said, this one is more like a punk rock song. Next is one of my favorites called The Claw. Very fast paced. Starts out with like a fast drum beat. Has a classic Motorhead style like guitar riff. Kind of reminds me of that like Ace of Spades riff a little bit. This one has a really catchy chorus. You know, Lemmy sings like the claw, the claw, the claw. That's pretty cool, and it is one of the standout songs on the album. Next is Mean Machine, another fast-paced rocker. Does have another riff, reminds me a little bit of AC/DC. This classic high-energy Motorhead, and pretty cool, thick, distorted tone on guitars and bass. Next is Built for Speed. This one has a pretty cool drum intro. A little slower than the others, more of like a hard rock feel, some like heavy riffs and pretty cool rhythm. Really cool like chugging guitars like in the verse, and really memorable chorus. Pretty cool guitar solo. I really like the use of the wah-wah effect in this one. Next is the kind of like the title track called Riding with a Driver. Another song with a fast drum intro, and this is just has like a punk rock style to it. Lemmy has a really thick distorted bass sound, and the song has a fast pace and just lots of high energy. Next is Dr. Rock. They do change their pace a little on this one. It has more of like a straightforward rock and roll feel. Just played Motorhead style. It's a hard driving song, kind of a repetitive riff and a sing-along chorus. And the last song, Orgasmatron, this is the one that kind of brought me to this album. You know, it's slow, it's heavy, it's like Motorhead doing doom metal. It's not like any of the other songs that I've heard. And I know I still need to listen to more, but the vocals are deeper and darker and almost like death metal-ish. You know, it's a little more aggressive style. Just has a really chugging guitar and just a bass sound, and you just won't forget. And it's like a slow song, even the guitar solo. It's kind of like a slow melodic, almost like a Black Sabbath solo. So this is the song that kind of like brought me to the band. And it's actually kind of funny because, like I said before, the title was from a Woody Allen movie, but the lyrics have actually nothing to do with Woody Allen nor the movie. There are like 3 different verses, and the first part addresses religion, the second part addresses politics, and the third part addresses war. So there's really no connection to that particular movie, but it was just kind of like what they called it. That's it. Like I said, this is one of those albums that I do go back to for Motorhead. You know, the ones I do listen to most are this one, Overkill, and Ace of Spades. Really like the guitar tone, the energy, just the heavy nature of the album, and I definitely need to like dig deeper into this band's catalog, but I do recommend this album. If you're a newcomer, it's probably a good album to kind of like start with if you haven't like heard this band at all. And that's it. Comment below. What do you think of the band Motorhead? You like them? Have you listened to all their albums? And so tell me what you think in the comments. So coming up next, more Iron Maiden. I'll do Dance of Death tomorrow. And Metallica Black Album, that's the 30th anniversary review on Thursday. Friday, new release, Slaughter to Prevail. Who's next, 50th anniversary coming up. Another video with Brian, and the Kinks give the people what they want. And that's it. So thanks for watching. See you in the next one. I forgot to tell you, don't forget, check out my other videos. They're down below. There's a subscribe button there down there too. So check them out. See you soon.